Welcome back to the Light of Joy. This is episode 26, and today we're talking about something that affects almost everyone, but rarely gets named out loud. How the expectations of family, school, and culture can quietly strangle our creativity. If you've ever felt like you were doing everything right and still felt deeply off track, or if you've ever been punished for simply thinking differently, this episode is for you. Let's start with a simple truth. Most of us were trained to obey, not to create. From the moment we enter school, we are handed scripts. Sit still, do your homework, don't question authority. These rules aren't inherently evil, but they train us to value performance over curiosity, precision over play. We become good students of someone else's idea of success. But creativity doesn't bloom in straight lines or pre approved answers. It lives in questions, collisions, and contradictions. And here's the danger: what starts as discipline often turns into fear: fear of standing out, fear of being wrong, fear of creating something that might not be accepted. And slowly, we learn to censor ourselves not just in words, but in thought. We stop imagining, we stop exploring, and one day we wake up feeling like strangers to our own mind. Let me tell you about Scarlett. She was everyone's pride. A-plus student, respectful, obedient, the kind of child you could bring anywhere and never worry. She went on to study medicine. Her parents' dream. Married a man her community respected. Everything looked picture perfect. And yet by 34, Scarlett felt numb, not depressed, not in crisis, just empty, because in all those years of doing what she should, she had forgotten to ask, what do I actually want? This is one of the most painful patterns of modern adulthood. Being successful by other people's standards while feeling completely disconnected from your own. You don't crash, you don't rebel, you just quietly disappear inside a life that was never truly yours. And that's not failure, but it's not living either. Here's a tough pill. True creativity often begins where obedience ends. That doesn't mean you need to throw your life into chaos. It means you need to stop outsourcing your instincts. Because if you're always seeking approval, you'll only ever create what's already been accepted. Every bold thinker, every original artist, visionary entrepreneur, world changer reached a moment where they had to say, this is not enough for me. I must go a different way. But rebellion doesn't always look like breaking the rules loudly. Sometimes it's choosing art over law school. Sometimes it's saying no to a promotion that kills your spirit. Sometimes it's moving across the world with nothing but an idea. Rebellion isn't about anger. It's about alignment, about choosing what's right for your soul, even if others don't get it. So if you feel stuck, unmotivated, or constantly behind, it may not be a lack of effort. It might be a lack of alignment. And ask yourself, whose dreams am I chasing? When was the last time I chose discomfort for something that truly mattered to me? What parts of me have I silenced just to fit in? These are not comfortable questions, honestly, but they are necessary, because the more we ignore them, the louder the disconnect becomes. And often, the answers you uncover aren't even radical. They are subtle. Maybe you want to dance again. Right. Start over, build something of your own. These are not outrageous demands. They are your birthrights. But you've been told they are impractical, unrealistic, childish. So you shrink instead of stretch, and your creativity becomes a shadow of what it could be. Look, this isn't about trashing your family's values or your cultural background. It's about ownership. It's about understanding that you were handed a rule book, but you never signed it. The older you get, the more urgent this truth becomes. You're allowed to edit the story you were born into. The most powerful shift you can make is realizing that you don't owe the world your conformity. You owe yourself your clarity. Start small. One decision, one no, 1 hour a day doing something pointless but joyful. You're not here to be a perfect fit. You are here to be fully alive. So if you've been feeling disconnected, off track, or boxed in, this is your invitation to a rebel, not in chaos, but in truth. This was episode 26 of The Light of Joy. Share this with someone who's still trying to earn their right to be themselves. And if that someone is you, burn the rule book. Write your own.